Everyone is panicking over leaked dates for version 1.2, but the leakers are completely wrong. We already have the hard mathematical proof for the exact minute the 1.2 special program and patch drop completely leak-free. I am going to show you the exact timeline for version 1.2, break down the exact data, proving why NTE is completely ignoring the standard post-launch beta test cycle used by Star Rail and Wuthering Waves, and give you my definitive, unfiltered verdict on why pulling characters blind in this upcoming patch could permanently brick your account economy. But before we lock in those dates, if you are planning to build your account economy for Shinku, you need to be smart about your Rift crystals. Save up to 21% on your NTE top-ups using Lootbar. It's a really trusted marketplace for cheaper top-ups. For example, the 6,480 Rift Crystal pack costs just $77.10 on Lootbar, while in-game it will run you about $100, so you're saving almost $23 right away. How it works is that after the purchase, you'll be directed into a cloud emulation tool where you'll log into the game as if you were on your mobile device. Then select the pack you bought, and the product will be delivered instantly as if you bought it yourself in-game. Then any trace of your login is deleted. It's a quick and easy process, and one I've personally used myself a few times. A lot of players use Lootbar with hundreds of thousands of purchases. Use my link down below and start saving today. Now, let us immediately kill the single biggest source of confusion ruining the community timelines right now. People are currently arguing over leaked release dates, constantly throwing around July 2nd, July 8th, and July 10th. To be completely transparent, this next part operates purely on confirmed developer facts, deliberately separating from the pure leak territory that has been circulating. We do not need a single data mean or unreliable leak to know when version 1.2 starts because the logic is airtight and officially confirmed. Back during the 1.1 special program, Hoyo publicly locked in the banner dates for the entire current patch. Phase 1, Lacrimosa, runs from June 3rd to June 24th. Phase 2, Chaos, runs from June 24th directly to July 8th. That July 8th termination date is not a leak. It is the absolute confirmed end of version 1.1, sourced straight from the official livestream. In NTE's live service model, exactly like basically every major gacha on the market, there are 0 dead gaps between versions. The absolute second phase 2 of 1.1 closes on July 8th, version 1.2 initiates right there. Therefore, the 1.2 release date is effectively July 8th, and we know that from official 1.1 information, with 0 speculation required. So when you see community speculation claiming a July 2nd drop, you have to look at the base patch economy. Ending version 1.1 early would leave a massive 6-day hole in the schedule. The official end of the current patch is the exact start of the next one. With the release date absolutely hard-locked to July 8th, the only remaining variable left to actually predict is the timing of the special program itself and its initial announcement. For this, we bypass speculation and analyze the historical data patterns because HADA's scheduling has been remarkably consistent. We have 2 clean, undeniable data points. For the global launch, the pre-launch special program aired on April 18th, followed by the game launch on April 29th. That is a precise window of roughly 11 days. Fast forward to version 1.1. The special program aired on May 23rd, and the patch went live on June 3rd. Once again, exactly 11 days. 2 for 2. This is not a coincidence. It is a mechanical release pipeline. They run their preview livestream about a week and a half before the server update drops. Now, we layer the secondary pattern directly on top of this, the official announcement versus the actual broadcast. For version 1.1, the official airing soon teaser dropped around May 19th, leading to the stream on May 23rd. That establishes a rigid 4-day gap between the announcement and the live stream. Here is what is officially locked in versus what is still actively shifting. The Chinese socials almost always post this teaser first before the global accounts. If you see CN dropping a poster and global is silent, do not panic, that is standard operating procedure, and global follows very close behind. So, let us run the final math. Take the fixed July 8th release date and reverse the timeline by 11 days. That places the 1.2 special program squarely around June 27th. Step back another 4 days for the airing soon teaser, and the official announcement will land around June 23rd. Give it a day or two of flexibility on either side because the exact gap has wobbled by a single day before, but that is your window. We are talking days away, not weeks. Watch the official global YouTube, the X account, and your in-game notice board closely starting June 23rd. The second that poster drops, that is your signal that the full Shinku and Oiroi reveal is roughly a week and a half from going live, bringing us their final kits, exact phase dates, new events, and redeem codes. But that brings us to the second big topic and the most critical mechanical issue, currently threatening your account, and I need to stop right here and ask you an honest question about your pull strategy. Look at your current premium currency savings. If Shinku drops tomorrow and her kit turns out to be incredibly clunky or locked behind heavy duplicate requirements, are you still pulling her anyway based purely on her design? Or are you skipping her entirely for a more flexible support unit? Pause the video right now and drop your current plan in the comments, because how you answer that completely dictates how you survive this next patch without breaking your account value. The reason this matters so much is because players constantly ask why NTE does not have a public beta server. Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, and Wuthering Waves all allow players to get hands-on mechanical testing with characters before they release. Yet, we are walking into version 1.2 getting Shinku and Iroy with zero public testing, relying purely on leaks and drip marketing until the servers come up. First, we need to correct the historical record because people mean two different things by beta. NTE absolutely did have betas before launch, specifically the closed containment and coex tests, which is where all that early mechanical footage originated. However, those were strictly invite-only environments where all data was permanently wiped afterward. What we lack is a post-launch beta testing phase. A controlled environment where the developers funnel a small subset of the player base, stress test upcoming units, map out optimal team rotations, identify synergy locks, and balance-based multipliers before the patch goes live. NTE completely abandoned this for 1.1, and there is zero beta infrastructure announced for 1.2. Why is Hada operating totally blind compared to their direct competitors? A few core reasons. First, they gathered a huge amount of feedback on core systems, combat, and performance during those extensive pre-launch betas. They are heavily utilizing an internal quality assurance model combined with rapid live server hotfixes, which is a very common approach for Chinese-developed live service games. We saw this exact rapid hotfix methodology during the transition from 1.0 to 1.1. Furthermore, NTE operates on a highly compressed 5 to 6 week patch cycle. Injecting a massive public beta test with feedback loops before every single version would significantly slow down that development pipeline. Plus, they now have a live player base of millions generating real-world data directly, without needing to maintain a small separate beta pool. But here is the honest, realistic downside for you as a player navigating this market. This methodology is incredibly dangerous for your premium currency economy. Releasing a heavily anticipated DPS unit like Shinku completely blind is a massive account risk. Without public theory crafters running base multiplier analysis, testing energy regeneration breakpoints, or validating her actual damage scaling against endgame bosses, you are pulling based purely on visual hype. If she is a luxury pull with severe synergy locks, clunky optimal team rotations, or if her multipliers look incredible on paper but critically fall off in actual execution, you will not know until after your premium currency is entirely drained. This is the inherent danger of a hot fix-first development culture. They can patch out minor bugs, but they rarely overhaul a poorly designed mechanical kit once the player base has paid for it. If you are an aggressive meta player or a low spender maximizing value, pulling on day one of version 1.2 is a massive gamble. So when does the infrastructure actually change? When can we expect NTE to start doing post-launch betas to protect our investments? If we look at the historical data of the genre, there is a genuine pattern. Genshin Impact initiated its post-launch testing program in early 2021, roughly around the 1.3 to 1.4 window, not immediately at 1.1. Star Rail launched the Galaxy Explorer program within its first several months. Wuthering Waves open-closed sign-up betas after launch to navigate the 1.1 to 1.2 stretch, especially prioritizing bigger patches. The common thread is that these limited apply and get selected betas became routine within the first 3 to 6 months after launch, usually a bit later than version 1.1. Applying that exact historical timeline to NTE, we are currently surviving 1.1 and 1.2 is already locked in without a beta announced. Therefore, the most realistic, highest probability point for Hada to introduce a post-launch beta is around 1.3 or shortly after. It fits the genre timeline almost exactly, and there is a massive internal incentive for them to deploy it. As the roster grows and the combat mechanics get vastly more complex, the pressure to test balance before release scales up exponentially. Releasing a powerful unit completely blind with no hands-on community feedback becomes incredibly risky for player retention the larger the game gets. So my honest read is that it is highly probable NTE introduces a closed beta around 1.3, utilizing the standard sign-up form and limited selection model, though nothing is currently confirmed. Ultimately, the timeline is mathematically secure. The current patch officially ends July 8th, instantly triggering version 1.2. Applying the consistent 11-day gap, the special program lands around June 27th. Applying the 4-day announcement gap, the global teaser drops around June 23rd. The beta infrastructure is delayed but historically aligns with a 1.3 rollout. Make sure you subscribe so you do not miss the precise mechanical breakdown the second those official kits are revealed, and leave a like if this deep dive clarified your patch planning. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.